A few months ago, I managed to turn Claude into my personal AI-powered journal, and what started as just a way for me to process my thoughts ended up taking over my entire life, and I mean that in the best way possible. Right now, I've got Claude set up to help me journal every evening, help me make my YouTube videos, plan my finances, track my fitness goals, and even help me with things like deciding what anime series I should watch next.
Wait, what?
And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I turn Claude into my all-in-one life organizer and how you can too. So before I started using Claude, I was journaling for a few years. I had a dedicated space set up in my Notion just for journaling. But the problem was I was just spending every evening kind of writing down a few bullet points about what happened during the day, but that's it. It would just sit there. And if I'm being honest, I rarely look back at those journal entries. So it was essentially me just telling it about my day and then not ever coming back to it. It wasn't useful to me.
Useless.
So I tried a few different apps. I used AI to help me figure out what the best apps specifically for journaling were. I tried one called Rosebud, which was actually quite good, to be fair. I used it for about a month. But again, I just found the responses were a little bit generic and it didn't really help me properly process everything that I was going through in my day-to-day life. Then I started using Claude and it was just a complete game changer. So for those of you that don't know, there is a feature in Claude called Projects, kind of like dedicated spaces for one specific task. So I've got one called my personal progress partner, which I use as my personal AI powered journal to help me manage things with my ADHD. It helps me see patterns in my own behaviors that I wouldn't otherwise notice. It connects dots from like weeks of different journal entries, and it's just helped me process a lot of things. I feel like a lot more emotionally healthy. I don't know if that's a term, but if it is, I've just made it up. The moment I stopped treating Claude as just some random AI tool that I might use every now and then, and I started using it as an actual thinking partner, that's when everything started to change for me. And if you're also a content creator that has ADHD and struggles with consistency like I do, I've actually put together a completely free AI toolkit with prompts that help you from everything from coming up with video ideas to scripting and filming your videos. It's completely free, links down below. So the first system I've already talked about, my personal progress partner system. This is the one that started everything for me. So every evening after my very energetic toddler has finally fallen asleep, I open up the Claude app on my phone and I just tell it about my day. I literally just tell it everything that happened, everything I felt, everything that I've been thinking about. If there's anything in particular from that day that had me stressed out, I just put it all into Claude and it gives me a really helpful response. It analyzes everything. It helps me notice patterns in my own behavior. It tells me what I'm doing well. It's helped me process a lot of things, and it explains why my brain has reacted the way it has to certain things throughout the day. And here's where this gets really powerful. If you're a content creator, you can actually use those same journal entries and turn them into YouTube videos.
Say what?
So let's move on to the second system I have, my content creation system. And this one basically runs my entire YouTube channel. Everything I make starts in that journal. Real stories, real moments, real lessons. Everything in my videos comes from the life I'm living day to day. So here's exactly how this works. Every evening, I will open up the Claude app on my phone. I will spend 10 to 15 minutes journaling about my day. And then the day after, I will add that journal entry to a Word document, which I've got set up for every month. I've set up different projects within Claude for different parts of my content creation process. So I can just literally click and drag my journal entry document into that Claude project so it has it for context and reference. The first project I've got set up is my idea ignition project. So I'll use vidIQ to do outline research just to make sure that I'm coming up with video ideas based on stuff that's already been proven to work. I will have it analyze that as well as all of my journal entries, and it will help me come up with the best video ideas for me to work on next. After that, I have my title tactician project, which will help me come up with the best titles for those videos. Then I have my thumbnail thinker project, which will give me the best thumbnail ideas based on the video idea, the video title. It will also help me create those thumbnail ideas in Canva using the thumbnail template that I've already got set up. I then hand it over to my script sculptor project. That was a little bit tricky to say. That essentially just takes the video idea, the title, the thumbnails, and it creates the script outline So that's how I've got my projects set up within Claude for my content creation stuff. But here's the thing. I thought, why not use it for everything? Why not make Claude my go-to AI assistant for everyday life?
It's crazy.
It's been a complete game changer. So let me show you. I went ahead and set up 4 new projects within Claude. So I set one up for my finances. So if I have any questions around budgeting, credit cards, investments, it just kind of helps me navigate the difficult financial stuff in life. For my fitness stuff, I gave it everything it could possibly need. I told it my age, my height, my weight, how long I've been working out for, what my current workout routine is. And this has been really helpful in terms of like my diet and nutrition, because the exercise I've kind of got down to a T, right? I've been doing workouts for years and I kind of know what I'm doing in the gym. But when it comes to diet and nutrition, it's a bit all over the place. I try and do a lot of meal prep. I try and eat as healthy as possible, but just giving it all of the context it needs and just knowing that if I have a question about what I should eat today, if I'm feeling hungry and I want a snack, it already has all the information it needs on me and my fitness goals. So I don't have to stress that it's just giving me like a generic answer that won't actually help me. I've also set up one for knowledge because I like to learn academically. I'm not very smart. I didn't do very well in my A levels and stuff, which kind of demotivated me a little bit. But since becoming an adult and having a kid and moving out, I found that just having the curiosity to learn one new thing every day goes a long way. It's like atomic habits, right? You're just building those micro habits, and day by day, those kind of stack up. And before you know it, you've made a lot more progress than you would have thought you would make. I've got that set up on the skills and knowledge that I want to learn as of right now. So, like content creation, digital products, AI, that kind of thing. And I've also got one for parenting stuff because, parenting can be quite difficult and sometimes you're not sure if you're doing the right thing. So just having that peace of mind, I guess, is quite helpful. Now, I want to be completely honest with you guys. I only set this up like 2 weeks ago as of filming this video. So it's still new. I haven't really used all of the different projects that much as of yet, just because I've been quite busy. But my main point here is that Claude isn't just for YouTube stuff. At first, I was just using it for YouTube stuff and journaling, but it's now become my go-to AI tool for everything. And there's a reason all of this actually works. And it has everything to do with how ADHD brains are wired. The core struggle of an ADHD brain is executive dysfunction. We cannot remember most things, let alone everything. So essentially what I've managed to do here by setting up all of these different projects in Claude is externalizing my mind. I have an actual interface that I can use if I have questions about anything, and it already has all of the context it needs on me. I don't have to worry about starting a new chat every time and telling it every single thing. And the best thing is, this is just one AI tool, right? I don't need to use ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. I mean, I still use Perplexity every now and then, but just having one tool that I can rely on really helps me, because I just don't like a lot of things going on. It kind of makes me feel very scatterbrained, like, oh, I should be using this tool for this and this tool for that. Claude is now at a point where its AI models are so good that I can confidently rely on them for pretty much every aspect of my day-to-day life that I would need AI assistance for. And the more you use it, the better it gets at understanding you and tailoring its answers to you and your specific situation. It's essentially a system that keeps you anchored when your brain drifts off miles away.
Squirrel.
So let me quickly run through with you where I would suggest that you start if you wanted to set something up like this. Start with the journal. Start using it every day. Just spend 10 minutes journaling about your day. Don't worry too much about how you're journaling. Just the act of doing it will kind of compound, and you'll start to notice the emotional regulation that comes with it. And then let those journal entries help you with your content creation. You're using it to journal, but you're also asking it to keep any ideas for future videos or any examples you can use in your videos. Don't worry about building all of the different projects for different areas of your life until you've mastered that journal project first. And then if you're feeling confident enough, then go for it for, finances, fitness, parenting, whatever else you have going on in your life, right? But just to note, Claude isn't a magic fix. It's just a system, and systems beat willpower every time because your motivation's not always going to be there. So having a system in place definitely helps. Now, just a quick note on privacy, because I know some of you are probably a bit concerned about that, as I was when I first started using Claude. The good news is that Claude is one of the more privacy focused AI tools out there, but by default I believe Claude does use your conversation for AI training. So all you need to do is head into your settings, go to the privacy option, and make sure the help improve Claude option is switched off. That's all you need to do. And for extra peace of mind, Claude's incognito mode excludes conversations from model training entirely, so you can use that for anything that you want to keep completely private. And consider keeping your journal entries slightly abstracted, so you don't need to include full names, addresses, or anything that you genuinely never want stored anywhere online, right? Think of it the same way as you'd think about a private notes app that just lives in the cloud. The emotional processing and the pattern recognition still work just as well without personal details. And guys, don't forget to grab that free AI toolkit I mentioned earlier. If you're a content creator with ADHD, you should find that especially helpful. Completely free, links down below. And if you want to see the Claude setup that actually works for ADHD brains, then check out this video next.